What if voters in California voted for a big project? I don't know, say maybe a high-speed rail. But the project went way over budget before it even began, and even then, it was drastically scaled back. So do voters have any recourse? One local assemblywoman says yes. Let's go to our investigative producer, Heidi Cooter, with that. Heidi.
3 Democratic senators broke party ranks when they voted against funding high-speed rail, but it wasn't enough to stop the project. Diane Harkey, a Southern California assemblywoman, is trying to derail this project.
I'm going to reintroduce legislation using Article 16 of the state's constitution to defund any remaining portions of the high-speed rail bond.
Diane Harkey's playing constitutional hardball.
The legislature may at any time, after the approval of the debt by the people, revoke or reduce the amount of the debt if things have changed, and that's Article 16. And that's what we need to do.
The Republican assemblywoman from Dana Point says she's introducing legislation to curtail California's high-speed rail because she doesn't believe Californians are getting what they voted for.
They were told that there would be funding for it, that we would have private investment, and that there would be federal funding for it as well. That's not coming.
She says her biggest concern, the state simply can't afford it. The Rail Authority's low-cost estimate for the entire project is $68 billion, and currently they have $6 billion cash on hand.
We can't afford to be mowing through towns, wasting billions of dollars, and accruing more debt on something that we have no future funding for.
But Rail Authority Chairman Dan Richards says this project needs to happen.
There are a number of financing sources that we haven't even begun to tap. For example, the high-speed rail projects coming through these cities will promote tremendous growth right around the stations. We've seen this with transit properties around the country. We have been very careful in building this program, knowing that we build it out in steps, knowing that the rest of the money is uncertain, so that each piece that we build has to have value in and of itself.
Harkey says she's not buying any of it.
100 miles of unelectrified track somewhere in the Central Valley is not a need or a priority of the state right now.
So what she is in effect doing is asking our lawmakers to halt funding, to halt any future bond sales under the High-Speed Rail Act. She says she plans to introduce this legislation in January.